Hey everyone, happy Thursday. It's Catherine Janice just signing in for our 1 p.m. workout. We're going to get started in just about 1 minute. My two little guys wanted to say hi. Spike, sit, good boy, and Sarge. There you go. Okay, come on out. So hopefully they'll be good and quiet during our workout. So we'll start in about 30 seconds. Hey Andy. So again, my name is Catherine. I'm with the Aging and Wellness Institute. We're going to do a cardio and core workout today. So we're going to alternate about 30 seconds of a cardiovascular move and then 30 seconds of a core strengthening move. So you don't really need the equipment for this workout today. Just want to have some water nearby. If you do have some light hand weights that you want to incorporate for some of the cardiovascular moves, that's an option. But we're going to start seated or standing, just with some big shoulder rolls, up, back, and down. And then begin to swing the arms, slicing through the air, one arm on top, open, and then switch, so a nice moving stretch. So some of these movements, you can make them a little bit easier and just do them in a seated position. So sitting in a sturdy chair or on the front edge of your couch. Otherwise, most of these movements will be done standing. Some of them we're going to do on our back, but you can also do those seated or reclined on your couch. So our first movement for 30 seconds is just a great warm-up movement. We're going to do a march in place or a jog in place for 30 seconds. Hey there, thanks for joining me. So I'm going to get our little timer going, and we'll start 30 seconds march in place or jog in place. So you want to have a nice cleared floor space here so you can move safely, and of course some good footwear on. So if you want to do these seated, totally fine. As you're marching or jogging in place, check your posture. Shoulders are down and back, and the breastbone is lifted. Almost done. Nice full breath. All right, our core movement, again, we're going to alternate cardio and core, 30 seconds of a bicycle. So option to do these seated, elbow to opposite knee. Otherwise, to make it even more focused onto your core, come on down to your back and begin. So 30 seconds, elbow to opposite knee. To modify, set the feet down and just alternate, picking one foot up and then the other. Nice full breath, keep the chest lifted. About 10 more seconds. Almost done. All right, and we're going to go back to our cardio burst. Anytime you need water, please help yourself. So we're going to do the air rope forward. So an imaginary jump rope. You can stand or sit. You can hop. You can jog in place. You can march in place. You could do a heel lift. But take this imaginary jump rope and circle it forward. We are past the halfway point. Just getting the heart rate up, circle the arms forward. And rest. We're going to take it to a plank. 30 seconds, you're going to hold a plank. So one option would be to go over to a sturdy wall and just hold yourself either with straight arms or bent arms in a plank position. You could also do these against the edge of the couch or come on down to the floor. If you're on the floor, you could do these on your toes or your knees and begin. So just hold yourself in a long line from top to tail in a plank position. Check that your shoulders are pulling back and together. Imagine a dowel on your back, so the back of your head and your tailbone are pushing into that dowel. Squeeze all the muscles in the legs. About 5 more seconds. Easy fingers, no death grip. And rest. All right, we're going to do the air rope in reverse. So take that imaginary jump rope behind you. Remember, you can do these seated or standing. If you're standing, you can hop, you can march, you could jog, you could do a double heel lift. But what's nice about this reverse air rope is it really helps to open up the chest, pulls the shoulders back. Full breath, about 5 more seconds. And rest. We're going to go back to this plank for our core move. Now you can do the exact same thing, standing against the wall, using the couch, or down to the floor. These can be done with straight arms or bent arms. A little variation if you have a couple of paper or plastic plates and you're using carpeted floor or a rug. Take your toes on top of the plates and we're going to do a plank with a tuck. Begin. So I'm going to use straight arms, both knees tuck in and both knees shoot back. So tuck and extend. You could alternate one and then the other, or you could just hold your plank. Keep the shoulders down. Keep going. And rest. Take a moment, loosen up your wrists, roll out the shoulders, shake it out. Our next movement, the high knee. So even if you're seated, you can do this. We're going to lift the knee up a little bit higher in front. 30 seconds. Begin. Option to add the hands pulling down as the knee draws up, or just hold the hands in front so your knee has a target. For more intensity, you could take this a little faster, or even to a jog. Pull the knee up about 5 more seconds. And coming back to our core move, we're going to do a side plank or a lateral plank. Use the wall if you want. Use the front edge of a sturdy couch. This can be done with a bent arm or a straight arm. Or if you're coming down to the floor, you can use a bent leg for more support. So let's go for 30 seconds. I'm going to do my right side first and hold a lateral or side plank. For more challenge, straighten both legs and then stack them up. Unhunch the shoulders. You could reach the top arm. You could extend it overhead. You could rest the hand to the hip. You could lift the top leg. That one's tough. Nice breath. 5 more seconds. And release it. Okay, we're going to do our cardio move. Then when we come back, we'll do that side plank on the other side. So we're going to do our curl back or the kick back. Now, if you're seated, you can do this seated. You just want to sit on the far front part of the chair or couch and bring the heel up towards your tail. Otherwise, you're going to pull the heel up behind you. I have a wide stance. Let the weight shift side to side. Rest your hands or add the pull. So you can pull back, you could pull out, you could reach up and pull down. You could take this to a jog, but think heel coming back behind you. Almost done. And rest. Okay, let's take our side plank to the other side. So for me, I'm going to go to my left side. 30 seconds and hold. So elbow and shoulder line up. A modification would be to move the elbow further away from the body or closer to the body, depending on how that feels for your shoulder. For more challenge, straighten both legs or stack them up. We're past the halfway point. You could also extend the top arm up or reach it overhead. You could rest the hand on the hip or just rest the hand on the thigh and release it. Okay, so our next cardio move, jumping jacks. Y'all know them, you love them. Do them seated, do them standing for 30 seconds. Begin. If you have light weights nearby or cuffed weights and you want to hold them for your jacks or half jack, that's fine. But these are lightweight, so I would say, 5 pounds tops, depending on your strength and your shoulder mobility. And rest. Okay, the boxer's crunch. You can do this seated or on your back. You're going to curl yourself up, hold it about halfway up, turn and punch, or alternate. A curl up, extend, one arm punch, back and switch. If you're sitting up high, you're going to lean back, turn and punch to the corners. 30 seconds, begin. Keep the chest lifted, even though the arms are up and it might cause the shoulders to round forward. See if you can keep the chest open. Remember that option to crunch and extend and alternate sides, if that's better for you. Almost done. And rest. All right, our next movement, a hop squat with an alternating tap down. So the movement, you're going to hop out, one hand reaches down toward the floor, hop in, hop out and switch. Now the modification, start with your feet together, one foot reaches out, one hand reaches down. The other foot steps out, legs bend and squat. So you choose 30 seconds, begin. You can hop or step out, bend your legs, push the hips back and down for a squat, and then reaching one hand toward the floor. Even if you don't touch the floor, that's okay. Chest is lifted, less than 10 seconds to go. All right, up next, mountain climbers. So the mountain climber, not only good for upper body strength and a little cardio, but also really good for core control and core strength. So you can do these against the wall, on the edge of a couch, or on the floor. Unhunch the shoulders, keep your hips down, and alternate, tucking one knee in and then the other. And you can take these faster as long as you keep good form. Let's go for 30 seconds. So mountain climbers. Pull the shoulders down, out of the ears. Imagine that dowel on your back. To modify, move a little slower. To intensify, speed it up. And rest. All right, let's take a moment here, loosen up the wrists, wiggle out the fingers, roll out the shoulders, grab a sip of water. Thank you all if you are joining me live. Give me a thumbs up if you're still with me. And thank you all if you are watching this later on your own. You're doing great, keep it up. All right, we're gonna go back to, excellent, thank you all. We're gonna go back to our cardio move, 30 seconds, cardio move coming up, oh fun. 30 seconds worth of burpees. Y'all know them, you love them, just 30 seconds worth, so to make these more challenging, move a little faster. To modify, take your time. You don't have to do quite as many if you go slower in 30 seconds. So 30 seconds worth of burpees. Begin. Squat, step or hop back, plank or push up, step or hop in, rise up and reach or add a hop. Keep it up using good form throughout the whole movement, even if you're choosing to step back and you're just holding a plank and then step forward. That's excellent. And rest. Loosen up the wrists. Great strengthener for the entire body and of course for the heart and lungs. All right, we're just going to do 30 seconds worth of a crunch or sit-up. Now, if coming onto the floor is not a good option, go ahead and sit on the front edge of your couch, lean back, and lift both feet, or to modify, alternate one foot lifting and then the other foot. 30 seconds, begin. So you could do a little crunch, just a small lift, or you could do a full sit-up. Hands wherever you need them to assist. Best you can, keep the chest lifted, even though we are curling forward using the abdominals and the hip flexors to curl ourselves up. About 5 more seconds. And rest. Nice job. Let's take it back to standing. So our next movement, bob, weave, and punch. If you have some light handheld weights or weight substitutes, you can use them for this movement. So you're going to bob down, extend to one side, come down through the center, extend to the other side. So bob down, weave, extend, bob, weave, extend. 30 seconds, begin. Keep the chest lifted. You choose how low to go in that bob. You choose how far to move to the side for the weave. And then the punch. We extend and then pull the arm back. About 5 more seconds. And rest. All right, our core move, plank jacks. So the plank jack can be done against the wall or the couch or down the floor. You can use straight arms or bent arms if you want a little rest for your wrist. But the movement from your plank, you're going to tap one foot out, bring it in. Tap the other foot out, bring it in. That would be option 1. Option 2, hop out and hop in. Out and in. 30 seconds. Begin. Best you can, keep the hips low as you hop or tap out. Modification, just hold a plank, and you could also come down to your knees if you need a breather. We're past the halfway point. Just in time. Loosen up the wrists, roll out the shoulders. Going back to our cardiovascular move, although that last one definitely got the heart rate up. We're going to do speed bag punches, seated or standing. So imagine a little speed punching bag in front of you, and you're going to do some forward punches. Now the height of this imaginary speed bag is up to you. To make it easier, keep it right about chest height. Otherwise, take it up overhead. Lower body, whatever it wants to do, 30 seconds, begin. So you could just shift your weight, speed bag punches forward. You could march in place. You could hop. So you choose. You might move the speed bag up and down, just for a little variety. About 10 more seconds. Maybe you can go a little faster. All right, rest, shake it out, roll it out. Before we do the speed bag in reverse, we're going to do a core move. Seated is a single or double knee tuck. So single or double knee tuck. If you are comfortable coming onto your back, we're going to do the same thing, single or double knee tuck or a reverse curl. So 30 seconds. If you're on your back, pick up one foot and then the other, or both feet, or reverse curl. You're going to add a little bit more lift to the hips. And you can keep the feet lifted, or you can tap the heels down and then lift. Now the hands are nearby the hips, giving us some support. 5 more seconds. And rest. Okay. Bring it up. We're going to do the speed bag punch in reverse. So you know how to make it more challenging or make it less challenging. 30 seconds, speed bag punches in reverse. So you could sit or stand, you could hop, you could march, you could jog in place, you could shift your weight. This is kind of a boxer's shuffle stance, side to side, keeping the weight in the front of your shoe. You could take this imaginary speed bag way up high, or bring it down in front of your chest. And rest. Taking it to a bird dog. So you can do this standing against the wall, fingertips overhead. You can do this standing with your hands on the couch, or you can come down to all fours. So check your base of support. If you're on all fours, wrists, elbow, and shoulder line up, shoulders unhunched. Look at the knees. Make sure they're separated hip width distance. So we're going to extend arm and opposite leg and just hold it there. So static core strengthening. If you're feeling unsteady, tap either the fingers or the opposite toes down to the floor. For more challenge, close the eyes. And you can also move the arm a little bit to the side and move the leg a little bit to the other side. About 5 more seconds. Hold it there. And release it. Good. Circle it out. Let's go ahead and do the other side, or the other set for the bird dog, just so I don't forget it. So last time I had my right leg and my left arm extended. This time I'm going to extend left leg, right arm, and hold. So check your base of support, check the shoulders are out of the ears. Anytime you feel unsteady, just tap down the fingertips or the opposite set of toes. Otherwise, you could do this with your eyes closed, or you could open the arm out to the side, open the leg to the other side. Keep breathing. About 5 more seconds. Shoulders down. And release it. All right, let's take it up to standing. A few more moves for our cardio and our core, and then we'll do a little stretch. So we're going back to standing. The cardiovascular move is a cross-country skier. Option 1, just the lower body. Toes tap back, hands rest to the hips. Option 2, extend the arms, however they feel comfortable. Option 3 is a hop switch. You choose the one that's best for you. Begin. 30 seconds. So even if you're doing the tap back, you can move it a little faster for more intensity. Keep the chest lifted. I know we're shifted forward in the upper body, but we don't have to round the shoulders. We can keep them back. And rest. Shake it out. Roll it out. a seated turn and tap. You can sit up high or come down to the floor. If you have 1 or 2 moderate hand weights, you can hold those in your hands. You're going to roll the shoulders back, lean back just a little, turn, tap the hands or the weight just outside the hips. Very important, we use good posture. 30 seconds, begin. For more challenge, you can lift up one foot or the other foot. You could alternate or keep both feet lifted. Pull the belly muscles in to support the low back and to take some of the work out of the hip flexors. We want to keep the work in the abdominals, the transverse abdominals, the deep, deep layer of our core. Less than 5 seconds. And rest. Taking it back up for our cardio move, the speed skater. So option, hands to the hips, tap one foot back at an angle. Now if that angled tap back is not good for your hips, just go straight back. Next option would be to add the arms or to add a hop and reach a little bit lower to the floor. So keep going. Our speed skaters. So the bigger the movement, the more that you get the arms going, the more challenge, the more benefit for the heart and the lungs. Great way to strengthen the muscles in the lower body and the bone density. Shake it out, roll it out, sweep out the arms. Go ahead and grab a sip of water. Coming into the home stretch, you guys. Thanks so much for sticking with me. All right, we're going to come either standing with your hands on the front edge of your couch or come down to an all-fours position. So we're going to do a tabletop with a kickback. Option 1, you're just going to alternate. Extending one leg behind you, flex the foot, and kick it up and back. Option 2, curl your toes under, lift your knees just a couple inches, and now kick back with those knees in that hovering position. 30 seconds. Shoulders are down, out of the ears. See if when you set the toes down or the knee down, you have it in the same line as your hip. Extend, strengthening the back of our core body. About 5 more seconds. And rest. Whew, I definitely felt those. Shake it out, roll it out. Let's do one more core move. I'm going to use my light handheld weights. And the movement is going to be one jack, alternating a front kick. So one jack, front kick. One jack, front kick. Modification, instead of kicking, do a heel tap. So heel tap. So 30 seconds. If you don't care for the front kick or the heel tap, just do jumping jacks and begin. So one jack, front kick. One jack, front kick. Keep it up. I know we're feeling tired. Don't lose your good form. 5 more seconds. All right. Nice job. Okay, so we're going to do our swim or the Superman. You can do this standing against the wall, and it's similar to a bird dog if you're standing. Arm and opposite leg are going to lift. Now if you're coming down to the floor, you're going to come flat to the floor, Extend the arms overhead. Extend the legs behind you. Pull the shoulders out of the ears. Lift up the belly button like you were making a crawl space for a ladybug. Arm and opposite leg. Lift and lower. 30 seconds. Keep going. Now for more challenge, if you're on the floor, you could hover all 4 limbs and take it to a flutter swim. So if you slow it down, you're still moving arm and opposite leg, just a little faster, and you're keeping all 4 limbs suspended up off the floor. Choose what works best for you. 5 more seconds. And release it. Good. Stack your hands, extend the legs, and just let the toes curl under so you can shift the weight of the legs side to side. If you're standing, you can prop one foot onto the couch behind you or reach back and take one hand, take one foot into your hand. If you are on your stomach, bend one leg, reach back, same side, take hold. You could also roll to your side if you prefer a side lying version of this quadricep stretch and hip flexor stretch. So lots of options. Release and switch to the other side. So again, if you're standing, reach back, take hold to the sock or the shoelace, or just prop the foot behind you onto the couch or a sturdy chair. You can also roll to your side if that's more comfortable for you. Keep the belly muscles pulled in. And then release. Take your time pressing up. Push your hips back, round the back, separate the shoulder blades, extend the arms. Just a nice stretch for the lower back and spine. And then take your time coming up to standing. No rush. Let the blood return to the rest of the body. Big shoulder rolls. Step one foot forward, the other foot back. Doesn't matter which one. I'm going to have my left foot in front and my right foot in back. And check your back foot. See if you can get the heel pushing all the way down to the floor. Hands can rest to the hips. Imagine tucking your tail under just a little bit. You'll feel the stretch deep into the front of your back hip. Then lift your back heel, curl the tail under even more, and bend both legs. Maybe the shoulders can lean back. Maybe the chin can lift, the eyes can lift. And release, march it out, and switch to your other side. So I'm going to take my right foot in front, my left foot in back. Check that your back heel is pushed all the way down to the ground. You might have the wall or the counter nearby. This is also a good balance challenge. We're going to lift the back heel, tuck the tail under, bend both legs, and then maybe the shoulders can lean back. So we're definitely deepening the stretch for these psoas and hip flexor muscles that attach the torso down to the legs. Lift up through the chest, the chin, and release, march it out. Seated or standing, dig one heel down, push the hips back. So if you're seated, just extend one leg in front. And even though we are hinging forward, can you keep the shoulders back? Come on up and switch to the other side. So dig the other heel in, push the hips back, hinge forward. And then coming up, big shoulder rolls, loosen up the wrists, take your fingertips onto your shoulders. Let's do some egg beater circles. So your elbows are going to draw circles outside the body, and then reverse the direction, other way. And then shake it out. We're going to sweep the arms up overhead. Look up, reach up, turn your palms away from one another. Pull down the side walls, big shoulder roll. Give yourself a big hand. Nice job, you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. This evening at 5 o'clock, Shannon is going to lead the evening exercise class, so if you want a little bit more, you can join her at 5. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock for our next exercise class tomorrow. Have a great day.